Very good evening. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of us. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. But before we delve into the bulletin, let's head fast for the top stories. In our top stories, new countrywide mobilization tours, questions as police invites NUP officials. Marriage is not a betting ground for riches. Archbishop Semogere is concerned. Over 700 science teachers assessed. Focus is put on new circular. Harms Nachivobo Stadium. Great anticipation ahead of Nachivobo reopening. And into the news, the Uganda police has invited the officials from the National Unity Platform for an engagement to resolve the standing collusion against the party nationwide mobilization arrangements. The police spokesperson Fred Ananga says that as per the standing suspension statement, the NUP mobilization campaigns, there is a need for security and NUP leaders to forge a way forward, as we hear more in this report.
Last year, security released a suspension document stopping National Unity Platform nationwide mobilization tours over non-compliance.
The NUP continues to blatantly breach the police guidelines. We have attached a copy of our letter dated 13th September 2023, which we communicated to them, clearly indicating areas where they blatantly breached the guidelines that we gave to them. And it costed some people's lives. Others lost property, others had their properties damaged, and so on and so forth.
On Wednesday, 22nd of May 2024, NUP embarked on the nationwide mobilization and other party arrangements amidst security resentment. The arranged mobilization activities in Kamuli district, Busoga sub-region, were stopped by security and some party members arrested.
They were required to comply with the following guidelines in advance. Avail to the Inspector General of Police the comprehensive program and schedule of the intended activities detailing location, dates, and time for each activity, with the numbers of expected participants and any other information essential for security planning. We also asked them for proof of permission from owners of venues to be used, measures for public safety and health in place at each of the venues for meetings.
The party then wrote a protest note to Uganda police condemning security mishandling on the 22nd of May.
When policing all acts of public order, our actions are backed by the laws and guiding principles indicated above. It is also not true that NUP is specifically targeted and restricted from mobilizing and organizing itself, but unlike other political parties and pressure groups that have remained law-abiding, the NUP continues to blatantly breach the police guidelines.
Uganda police has resolved to meet with NUP officials for engagement and forge the way forward for other party activities. The meeting is slated on the 27th of May 2024 at police headquarters in Naguru.
We want to take this opportunity as the police leadership to invite them for an interaction on Monday, the 27th of May 2024 at 10 a.m. in the main boardroom at police headquarters, Naguru.
This has come at a time when police has again stopped the planned NUP activities in Palisa district, where the trail convoy was intercepted at Sezibwa Bridge along Kayunga Road. Abdul Nasser Lubwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
From political into the education sector, Uganda National Examination Board, UNEB, will conduct 4 sets of examinations this year's national examinations. The Executive Director, UNEB, Dan Odong, revealed at the media briefing held at Uganda Media Center. Let's hear the briefing.
The 4 sets of examinations this year include the primary living examination, the Uganda Certificate of Education for both the old and new curricula, and the Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education.
This is also the first time that the Uganda National Examinations Board will conduct the Uganda Certificate of Education examination under the new lower secondary curriculum.
This year's national examinations will be a one-off opportunity for anyone who would like to be assessed under the new curriculum and will not be repeated.
The new lower secondary curriculum requires candidates to register for a minimum of 8 subjects and a maximum of 9 subjects.
While registration for all the 4 examinations is underway, UNEB has warned school heads against overcharging candidates.
Charging fees not prescribed by UNEB is quite common. According to the UNEB Act 2021, Section 33, it is an offense.
But Philbert Baguma, the Secretary General of Uganda National Teachers Union, has asked UNEB to walk the talk.
You see, for quite some time, UNEB comes out, it issues the standard fees for registration at different levels. Primary 7, senior 4, senior 6. But even now, when the parents are taking back the children, they have paid more than double of the amount for registration fees. And on the school circulars, it is indicated registration fees far above what UNEB charges. And therefore, we don't only expect UNEB to talk about tougher penalties, but we should see it swing into action.
Normal registration for all candidates will close on the 31st of May 2024. For candidates who may miss registering during this time, a period for late registration has been set, which will, however, attract a surcharge. Diano Olwen Peters, UBC News.
In the religious fraternity, children from various Catholic parishes have gathered at Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine, Namugongo, to participate in the Catholic Church First World Children's Day as declared by Pope Francis George Maria on the 8th of December 2023.
Hundreds of children have convened at Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine Basilica Namugongo to attend the special World Children's Day as announced by Pope Francis George Maria Bergoglio when he presided over the Mass on 8th December 2023 to commemorate the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary.
La gioia di annunciare che il 25 e 26 maggio del prossimo anno
the 2 days celebrations were inaugurated by Pope Francis in Rome, while at Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine Basilica Namugongo started with a mass led by Reverend Father Anton Ezenweke, accompanied by Reverend Father Frederick Tusinjire from Nsambia.
My dear friends, God is good, and all the time, and that is His nature of ours.
Father Ezenweke prayed for the children and blessed them, encouraging them to walk in the path of the good Lord.
Jesus, begin to bless His children, begin to restore His children, begin to bless His children, cover them with your precious blood, as the Lord of the Spirit, Father, begin to go with them, begin to go with them, Lord.
Some of the children in attendance were from Blueprint Junior School, although most of them haven't reported back to school for second term. They were expectant of the intercession by the martyrs, especially Chizito, who was the youngest martyr.
What I know about the martyrs is that they died because of their faith in God, and they were persecuted because of it.
The youngest martyr was Saint Chizito. As what I learned from this pilgrim that you have done today, we should learn how to work hard, and in everything that we do, we should have faith in God and believe in God.
The coordinator children ministry at the shrine, Dorothy Sonko, also a parent, implored the Holy Pontiff for declaring the Children's Day.
For the world, during that time, His Holiness Pope Francis is meeting with other children. They are in Rome. They are celebrating the very first World Children's Day in the Catholic Church. And what a good coincidence that also us here in Namugongo Parish, we are having an opportunity for the children to come to pilgrimage, but also to prepare them for back to school.
The parish priest, Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine Namugongo, Reverend Father Vincent Lubega, explains the children's program.
Here in the Basilica, there is a mass going on. This mass is for the young children, I would say from the age of 3 to the age of 11. These cannot manage to stay around when the crowds are many, when the numbers are big. So today we decided that all the children from the Archdiocese of Kampala, led by those in Namugongo, should come and make their pilgrimage. Normally the children always miss out on the 3rd of June, but this year we made sure they also receive the blessings of the Uganda Martyrs in a special way.
The Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese Posemogere is expected to officially launch Martyrs' Day celebrations tomorrow. Novena prayers will begin tomorrow as groups of pilgrims are expected to flock in Friday evening, and by press time security had been beefed up. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Thank you very much there, Ivan Juko. Now, the retired bishop, Right Reverend James William Sebagala, has expressed concerns over the abandoning of a church by the youth who end up embracing worldly wonders. This was in his message to the youths who gathered at Namugongo Anglican Martyrs site for their day ahead of the Martyrs' Day commemoration.
The youths from different dioceses have gathered at Namugongo Anglican Martyrs site ahead of the Martyrs' Day commemoration on 3rd June 2024. The youth were taken through different sessions. Among them was praise and worship, HIV/AIDS, Bible study, all aimed at mentoring youths in one way or the other. The head of Mission Church of Uganda, Reverend Simon Peter Dembelya Yesu, was the chief guest, who attributed the ongoing criminality by the youths to failure by the parents to nurture their children.
You're letting your children to just grow. Be involved in the life of your children. The best place to raise your children is church. Take your child to church. Let your child be connected to the right people. The biggest problem of Uganda is that we do not fear God anymore. Our prayer as a church of Uganda, that everyone in Uganda will have a reverence for God.
Reverend Dembelya was also concerned over the increasing immorality among the youths. He warned the youth over the LGBTQ activities.
I get disturbed when I see advertisement on social media inviting youths to go to those Western countries. If you speak English and you come from Uganda, there are free jobs and they mention the nation. My message to you is that there is nothing that comes for free. Actually, we say free things are very expensive. As a Christian, as a young man and as a young woman, do not indulge yourself in homosexuality or lesbianism.
Representing the Archbishop of Church of Uganda, Dr. Samuel Stephen Nkazimba Mugalu, was the retired Bishop James William Sebagala. Sebagala expressed concern over the abandoning of the church by the youths.
When you know what you want to be, then it forces you to be focused and also to work towards being what you want to be. And I want to appeal to the young people that around you, God has set everything for you. You only need to pray, wake up, and see what God has given around you and begin from there.
The other issues raised by Bishop Sebagala was the ongoing grabbing of church land as the youth look on.
Church of Uganda had a lot of land. Our land is being taken. Abavukanga baga takale yaffe nno balitwala. Our land is being taken. Then you wonder, where are the Christians of that church? You don't see them, you only see the elderly one trying to stand against the unnumbered foes. When the youth are hiding or behind there, taking chocolate and ice cream and the rest of that.
Reverend Richard Lukundo is the coordinator of Youth and Children Affairs.
So as a church, we still have a challenge to make sure that youth do not get diverted by Bivulu, which happen all the time, because we know where they love to be. In Bivulu, they have to be on TikTok, they love to be on... Are those things going to empower them to be the youth that will grow and be leaders in this country? So if you are a youth today, do you see yourself as a future leader? Do you see yourself as a future husband, as a future wife?
Deborah Namamonde, Tanaba Kenneth, UBC News.
Thank you very much. Their great team. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has today reaffirmed his wealth creation strategy to the leadership of the three arms of government by presenting accountability in form of testimonies of significant achievements already registered by farmers in Gomba and Sembabule district while listening to his advice. The President, accompanied by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Museveni, made the remarks today at a special public rally held at Kisuzi Primary School in Gomba District to prove to the leaders of the country that it is possible to eradicate poverty from the population if only they, the leaders, could lead by example. President Museveni noted that the World Cattle Corridor has the same success stories right from Isingiro, Mbarara, Kiruhura, Ryantonde, Sembabule, Gomba, Chankwanzi, Kigoba, Ngoma and Masindi following the student movement aggressive wealth creation sensitization campaign to the population. He said the challenge is to encourage dairy farmers to adopt the zero grazing method as opposed to the free grazing. The president further noted that when he acquired land in Kisuzi in 1990s, residents of the area were democratically poor, and he was therefore encouraged to lift them out of poverty by assigning officers from the State House to investigate and recommend a way forward, thus giving birth to the 4-acre model. He reiterated the zeal of NRM strategy to get all people of Uganda out of poverty by encouraging them to deeply get involved in modern commercial agriculture with calculation. The Gomba West Member of Parliament, Honorable Robina Rakojo, recommended President Museveni for inviting all the three arms of government to her constituency. Several testimonies were given by progressive farmers from the 9 villages of Sembabule and Gomba districts who are now deeply involved in the money economy. The 9 villages include Kirasi, Kajumiro, Kisozi A and Kisozi B, Kikuma, Obutugu, Lutunku, that is Lutunku A and then Lutunku B, and again there's Kasozi. Some of the farmers from Sembabule district who presented their testimonies were Isirairi Kwefuga, who has about 10 acres of coffee and earns over 220 million Ugandan shillings in a year. He is also involved in dairy farming and gets 800 liters of milk per day. Other farmers were Justin Nyamwiza, Zizebera James, and Kusasira Noah. They all praised President Museveni for opening their eyes by showing them a way to become millionaires. Testimonies were also given by farmers from Gomba district, where David Nasasira, whose sub-county of Chiahi is now the leading producer of milk with a production of about 394,000 liters daily. Another progressive farmer from Gomba who has several enterprises as well as dairy training school is Mr. Kabera from Madu sub-county, and he employs over 60 youths. The special rally was attended by the Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, and Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Anita Among. Now, the Bishop of Kampala Archdiocese, Right Reverend Paul Semogedere, has expressed concerns that many Ugandans have turned marriage into a material acquisition institution during the marriage conference organized by the Bible Society of Uganda, where concerns were raised over increasing rates of divorce that has put many marriages in intensive care situations in the country. Let's hear more in this report.
Christian marriage in Uganda, as in fact is the case around the world, is under threat. And rather than just defend Christian marriage, we want to go forward and promote it.
Several reports have indicated an increase in the number of cases of divorce, with several couples opting for either cohabitation or separation. 7% of couples, which translates to about 370,000 people, experience divorce and separation every 4 years, a move that has left many marriages in the intensive care situation. The vice is attributed to several reasons, notwithstanding financial instability, infidelity, sexual differences, lack of communication and attention, among others.
It's a partnership that has to be built by two people, and you've heard that also it takes two to tango, but it also takes two to build.
Justice Mike Chibita, the Justice of the Supreme Court, advised couples to undertake legal marriages aware of legal benefits and implications, and be slow issues of DNA to avoid unnecessary separation.
That you can actually raise children or other people who are not biologically yours. And the thing I was sounding out that we must have a legal infrastructure before we rush into DNA.
Chibita revealed that the judiciary is trying to harmonize the so many existing laws governing marriages, although still challenged by different religious beliefs.
Because some of these laws are diametrically opposed. Some are polygamous, potentially. Some are monogamous, strictly.
Dr. Eva Zatwine, the guest speaker, says there is much fear of the failing marriages, with over 70% of couples complaining of unhappiness.
People, even who are in marriages, 77% are saying they are miserable, they are unhappy. You see? So you have those breaking and those hanging in there. And so only 11% say they are happily married. As a matter of effort, we want to try and make sure that we promote happy marriages.
The Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, His Grace Bishop Paul Semogedere, expressed concern that many people have turned marriage into a material acquisition institution.
Is that married people take it seriously as a gift from God. Don't misuse it, don't mishandle this gift, because it comes from God. And God will say, I gave you a gift. How did you treat this gift? You have a beautiful lady and you start abusing her physically. That is God's gift that you should take. If the husband is...
The conference was attended by, among us, have been acquainted with the knowledge of science subject evaluation and monitoring for the new curriculum and the end-of-year assessment for science students across the country.
Teachers can be trained on assessment basically for the end-of-year items that can assist them in order to ensure that the children at school can be assessed every end of the year up to when they would come to the end of cycle, which will be done by UNEB.
These groups of science trainees are expected to go and train other teachers in their respective regions on implementation and assessment of exams in accordance to the new curriculum.
We realize that these learners now go ahead to perform a little bit better than what they should, and once that one happens, it informs now the rest of the country, the ministry, on how effective SESEMAT program is.
The Commissioner, Human Resource, Ministry of Education and Sports, Richard Enyomu, says the ministry is negotiating the recruitment process of the required science teachers. Enyomu says the process is also underseeing the implementation of the lower secondary curriculum.
Carried out some training, but only for a given number of teachers. Now, SESEMAT has also been doing these regional trainings. The ministry on its own has been carrying out some training, and the ministry is planning such trainings to ensure that we have the implementation of the new curriculum spread across both the implementation and assessment.
The training attracted 15% female science teachers and 85% male science teachers, with the biggest percentage coming from private schools. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV. Meanwhile, the commissioner in charge of secondary education, Atuhaire Muzora, has underscored the importance of integrating ICT into the lower secondary education curriculum. Muzora was officiating at the closure of the 4-day digital training of 80 secondary school teachers by Uganda National Teachers Union.
So please, as you move out, know that you have been well empowered as teachers, pedagogically, but also as citizens, to yield with multiplier effect.
This training majorly benefits the learner because you empower the teacher so that the teacher in turn improves on the delivery, and therefore the
Susan Naong and Peter Lweny reporting for UBC TV.
Now, in the light of high costs of living exacerbated by heavy taxes on goods, vulnerable individuals with trauma are finding it increasingly difficult to access necessary treatment. Patients with trauma cases at Kumi Hospital in eastern Uganda are now urging Ugandan government to waive taxes on implant supplies essential for the treating of trauma patients.
Bosco Ochero, a teacher from Entebbe municipality, is one of the trauma patients admitted at Kumi Hospital in eastern Uganda. Ochero was involved in a motor accident that left him critically injured.
So the taxi came from behind. I did not even see the taxi, did not even indicate. When it came and branched. Immediately it branched like this. It did not even stop. Now, I was now trying to dodge it. Now, from the process of dodging like this, it came on the road and it knocked the hip here. And then the pelvic got destroyed, all the pelvic got destroyed.
Ever since the accident, his life has been profoundly altered.
I used to part-time. I'm on the payroll. I used part-time outside other schools. So now it has affected my business because now I'm not longer part-timing again the other sides where I used to get the other money from the other side.
With the support of the well-wishers, Ochero is striving to cover substantial medical expenses exacerbated by heavy taxes imposed on imported goods.
From all that time up to now, I've wasted more than 13 million from that time. Now when I came here, they told me to pay 15 million. So now I've already cleared the 13 million, I've left with some 2 million.
He emphasizes without government waiving taxes on essential supplies, like implants crucial for treating trauma cases, many vulnerable individuals in accidents may not survive.
The implants, they are brought from the outside country. You have to book them. After booking them, they will take long. After taking long, that's when now they will operate you. Yeah. So the government can, if the government can do that, because this is the sickness. Because if they don't do, then which means some of us, we are going to die. Because now, if they don't receive the taxes, we shall die.
Against this backdrop, Kumi Hospital organized a medical camp to provide services to patients at a moderate cost.
we are targeting mostly children who can't afford some of these services, and we are privileged that we are hosting one of the orthopedic surgeon from the Netherlands, a friend of Kumio Hospital. He has always been coming to give us a hand, and every time he comes, he gives us a hand and we subsidize the cost of the operations. So we aim to help as much of the people in the community who can't afford these services when we are offering them outside medical camp.
Patients highly appreciated the quality services provided at the facility.
As they brought me here, so I've got enough service. Yeah, they are treating, they keep time, they are doing very well. That's why you get me. I'm just relaxed. Yeah, so that's why I thank this hospital. Thank you.
Everyone has been so welcoming, everyone is friendly and very good at their job. So if we had to leave him back in Lira, he would have died.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
Now, the 3-day capacity building for inspectors of schools in Uganda came to a close with a call to improve the quality of inspection at district levels. The training was initiated by the Ministry of Education and Sports after most districts registered low percentages in learning outcomes in the last year's schools assessment.
When results are released with poor performance, most people point fingers at the 8 teachers while others blame the Inspectorate Department for the poor results. The Directorate of Education Standards at the Ministry of Education and Sports enrolled all inspectors of schools for a 3-day capacity building that ended today in Lira City. The Directorate called for an improvement in the quality of inspection to help the ministry realize its goals and aspirations.
From interpretation and internalization of the inspection tools to proficiency in report writing and adherence to inspection principles. These challenges serve as catalysts for change and innovation.
During the practical training exercise in schools, the inspectors highlighted a number of challenges affecting effective learning in schools.
Now, how do you go to teach class without lesson plan? I could have prepared you, but we even communicated. That is why your lesson was not flowing.
Our lesson notes were not there, except only 1 out of the 6 that was that. The lesson note, the rest were using text.
What is coming across the board is the learning outcomes in all local governments are not being achieved. It also is coming out clearly that lesson delivery and preparation are not done across the board. That's an area that we must now focus on, because if learning outcomes are low, then learning is not taking place. And yet the purpose of a school is to ensure learning.
So we feel revitalized, we feel enthused, we feel encouraged and supported, especially by Directorate of Education Standard.
Bunga also wants government to respond to the navigation challenge affecting their work. In some districts, inspectors are challenged by the scheme of service that does not motivate inspectors.
We cannot leap jump from U3, which is a senior position, to U1. Most of the inspectors do not have transport means to move in the field to inspect regularly. Some of the inspectors are moving with border borders. They are hiring transport to move in the field because he has to travel long distances on a motorcycle on a rainy day and is expected to inspect, plan for us as inspectors.
Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Now, the Minister of Education, Janet Kataham Seveni, has urged local religious and cultural leaders to advocate for awareness and encourage children living with disabilities to attend schools and gain skills in different areas. Representing the First Lady was State Minister for Presidency, Diana Mutasingwa, who handed over 120 basic laptops, printers, water tanks, skiving machines, among others.
In a move to improve education in Ntungamo district, the Turkish government has donated items including laptops, printers, water tanks and other machines to 21 primary schools in Ntungamo district to financial and physically handicapped students.
The rest of the items are so big.
Representing the First Lady at the function was the State Minister for Presidency, Diana Mtasingwa, who appealed to development partners to support guardians and parents with children living with disabilities.
Please also help to eliminate discrimination against children with disabilities in mainstream education by addressing negative attitudes and languages that may exist in your schools. I call upon religious and cultural institutions to join us to promote community awareness about the need to support parents and guardians of children with disabilities.
The woman member of parliament for Ntungamo district said that children living with disabilities in Ntungamo district have been neglected even by their own parents.
Ekyakabiri nyina amashomero agakushomesa abaana babarema. Hariho ishomero rya Rwera, hariho ishomero rya Kitunga, nangwa nagandi gari mukonkago ngo gihinemwa abana binjo. Abana babarema noshanga bamwe batagumiza mu kuzo mu secondary. Nangwa nabahiza secondary batagumiza mu university. Konka nje ntwara aryo mwana wo mwoja aryo murema. At least yaza kushohora ku rwo primary. Nabasa kubazire charani, nabasa kwekorera kito.
The Turkish ambassador to Uganda pleaded for continuous support to the children with disability.
We have been slaughtering cattle. The number was like 14,000, which is really very much plausible. And
schools that benefited include Kitunga, Kabasheshe, Nyanga.
It is a nice move, and I thank them because that empowers our people to have clean water, therefore avoiding diseases, to have knowledge in computer knowledge, to have knowledge of sewing.
Now, members of the Civil Society Coalition on Road Safety convened at Nsambia Inter-Service Hotel to discuss the proposed policy guidelines on improving the traffic safety for children with school zones in line with the Uganda National Road Safety Strategy and Action Plan 2021 to 2026.
According to the Uganda Traffic Report 2023, a total of 872 children below 18 years died in road accidents, mostly school-going children, a situation which calls for more joint intervention by government, private sector, and civil society stakeholders to address. Civil society members on road safety and accidents reduction have convened at Nsambia Inter-Service Hotel for a consultative meeting to discuss the proposed policy guidelines and regulations on how to prevent and reduce accidents among school-going children which occur within their school zones.
And for us now, our role today is to get the views from the CSOs who are in charge of road safety, dealing with children, and our views will be submitted to the technical committee in compiling the safe school zone guidelines.
And Hovita's project is within the improved infrastructure around schools, infrastructure along the roads. So we thank you, Hovita, have come up with this kind of idea.
We've been privileged to be part of the discussion of guidelines for safe school zones in Uganda. Is to ensure that we bring up guidelines that suit our local setting in Uganda and work best for Ugandan schools.
Some of the items expected in the new policy include enforcement of a 30-kilometer speed limit around school zones, engaging cross supervisors, putting crosswalks and visible road signs, among others. Other stakeholders in the new policy formulation process include the Ministry of Transport and Works as the overall coordinating agency on behalf of government, Uganda National Roads Authority, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Public Service, among others.
I'm going to pay 3 people. So these are.
Now, the Minister in charge of Youth and Children Affairs, Kabuye, has launched a community-based education scheme in Nakaseke district with the aim of supporting needy families to access education, mainly at university level.
In a move aiming at helping the most needful families in Nakaseke district, the State Minister in charge of Kampala Affairs, Kabuye Chofatogabe, has launched a community-based education scholarship scheme.
I'm so happy that I've got the bursary from Honorable Chofa, and I thank God for that grant. Of course, initially I was not able to pay myself, and I was not having a hope that I could go to university, but due to the God's grace, I'm able to go and continue with my further studies.
For starters, 40 scholarships have been secured.
So my name is Meme Escanes. I'm happy that I've got the bursary of science in education. We thank the minister that has done this, and we are so happy that we are going to do the best such that we perform all the best.
The beneficiaries, who are mainly females, are now setting off for university studies.
And I really appreciate Honorable Chofatogabe for this chance that he has given to us. We are so glad and we are so happy. We can't express our happiness, but I'm so happy.
I'm going for diploma in secondary education, doing entrepreneurship and ICT. So the payment, it is not more than 600,000 because most of the things that is needed, the tuition plus other fees, has been cleared by the Honorable.
They have to adjust their behaviors. They have to know they have gone into a foreign land per se in quotes, and they have to know that they have gone into an area of elitism and of highest levels of understanding and awareness. So they should be very careful and they should safeguard against any social occurrences and outlooks.
According to Minister Chofatogabe, this development seeks to offload the burden from economically unstable parents as well as adding a block on the development of this area.
We want to change this place, is starting with education. Of course, this effort is not the one we've just done. We started by encouraging the primary leavers from the primary section. We've been encouraging them when we are going to do PLE exams, and indeed for the last 2 years I've seen a tremendous increment in the passing the grades. Then we went to senior 4, senior 6, even some of these ones got our success cards and messages. Now from senior 4, senior 6, I want to take the same struggle to the highest so that we can close the entire the entire cycle of education.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The Uganda National Oil Company UNOC is wholly owned by the government of Uganda and was established to safeguard and promote Uganda's commercial interests in the petroleum sector. UNOC has 2 subsidiaries, the Uganda Refinery Holding Company URHC, which will hold a 40% stake in the 60,000 barrel per day refinery and manage the development of Kabalega Industrial Park, and the National Pipeline Company Limited NPC, in charge of pipelines, storage and downstream business ventures. This subsidiary holds 15% interest in the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, ECOP. ECOP is a 1,445-kilometer long pipeline that will transport crude oil through 10 districts in Uganda to the port of Tanga in Tanzania. UNOC is also actively engaged in crude oil exploration, development and production activities, and its participation role includes a 15% stake in the Tilenga, Moya and Bilisa and Kingfisher development projects, Chikure. UNOC also holds the exploration license for Kasuruban Block in Hoima, Bilisa and Masindi. UNOC currently owns and manages the Ginger Storage Terminal and will build a 320 million litre capacity terminal in MPG called the Kampala Storage Terminal. At UNOC, we're harnessing the potential of Uganda's petroleum resources, forging a sustainable future and preserving the natural beauty of Uganda. UNOC, your partner in Uganda's oil and gas industry.
nsigikira mulimo gwe nkola gukanikira baba customer ku wasobuni timba n'obwire obukutwala sente isomero ati ntwamukolesa enkola ya MTN mobile money ni migasita 10 nkaga na 5 star 8 nintekamu kodi namba y'omwana genda sente ninsasola ku luminta ino kuteribanizwa koni katunga esimu kuruga mu MTN bantereire okubanza ntakikirize nkaba amanyire bali bafere hanyuma nagenda nakakuza MTN aho nagamba ntungire esimu ino kuruga mu MTN kyamazima okuba nkaba amanyire nti aliyo promotion hanyuma madam akola MTN yangambira kyamazima kubasima muno mwebale muno akasente kabaire kenja kusasula school fees tamwe kujja bakasasulire akandi nja kasasulira mu bagenzi baye abatabandi mwebale muno.
Together we're unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
Though dry blood targets and everyone would admire their glowing skin, fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin, no worries anymore. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Hey, business people of Uganda, the Uganda National Lottery is coming. It's the perfect opportunity to boost your business. Zimba your business by becoming an authorized Uganda National Lottery agent. By paying a security deposit of just 250,000 shillings, you will receive your very own Uganda National Lottery terminal, expert training from the pros themselves, and marketing materials to skyrocket your sales. And with a generous 5% commission on every ticket sold, the potential for earnings is limitless. Don't miss out. Act now and call us toll free at 0800 33 44 33 to see if you qualify. Join us today and Zimba your business. Ituba Uganda is regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Uganda's biggest tourism and travel trade show of the year is here again. The 8th edition of the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate 2024 under the theme Responsible Tourism will be taking place at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo from the 23rd to the 25th of May 2024. It's your chance to connect with tourism and travel professionals from across the globe. Discover travel holiday deals, packages, and so much more. Visit www.poate.co.ug to register and be part of the event. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board.
Welcome back. We're glad you're still allowing us into your space. Now, in the world of business, a National Drugs Authority has closed 51 illegal drug outlets and impounded 85 boxes of drugs worth 21 million in Kayunga district. During the operation NDA, that is National Drugs Authority operation, they found most of the drug outlets operating without licenses. The Southeastern Regional Drug Inspector, Dr. Zaidi Moda, said the vice of illegal drug outlets operation has drastically reduced due to the constant operation and sensitization by NDA officers.
Those many boxes.
With this operation, 51 targeted drug outlets operating without licenses or with unqualified personnel were closed, and 84 boxes of assorted medicines worth 21 million Uganda shillings were impounded. This operation was in line with NDA's mission to protect and promote public health through effective regulation of human and animal medicines. As currently operating without licenses or unqualified personnel are hereby directed to halt all operations until the licensing requirements are fulfilled. It's been a great improvement. When we started these operations, for instance, in the areas we have covered, Mukono we had in 2022 about 450 licensed drug outlets. After operations in 2023, we had about 720. That's a big improvement. And currently we have received about 800 applications.
Now, Uganda Manufacturers Association, UMA, has launched the 13th edition of the Eastern Regional Trade Fair. The trade fair will be held in Bale City from the 14th to the 23rd of June 2024. Let's hear more in this report.
We're expecting 271 exhibitors. Among them, we have 13 exhibitors, foreign, from Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt, and Tanzania.
If you look at the curriculum that we have moved towards, it's no longer about being in class, get to understand who Napoleon was, then go and pass a paper. No, we've moved. It's now about projects. Now, that's why now we are saying let the learners come, exhibit their projects they are coming with at school. So Mbare is now getting an extra benefit by having the trade fair in their auspice.
You can sleep anywhere and you can wake up comfortably. But when you, once in a while when you go to a barrio, once in a while when you sleep out of your home, or even when you sleep in a hotel, there's a difference.
Our primary goal as Comedy Store is to promote young talents, provide a platform for them to showcase their talents, then sponsor or provide them to, introduce them to the world and create employment for them.
And we are very proud and glad to be part of this Eastern Region Trade Fair, hosted by UMA, where we will get opportunity to showcase our journey of 30 years within the country.
Sigikira mulimo gwenkola gukanikira abakasitoma kwa sobuni kimba n'obwiro obukutwala sente isomero ati nti amukolesa enkola ya MTN mobile money ni migasita 1065 star 8 nintekamu kodi namba y'omwana genda sente ninsasola ku lungi ntayino kuteribanizwa koni katunga esimu kuruga mu MTN bantereire okubanza ntakikirize nkaba amanyire bali bafere hanyuma nagenda nakakuza MTN aho nagamba ntungire simu eno kuluga mu MTN kyamazima okuba nkabanta amanyire nti aliyo promotion hanyuma madamu akola MTN yangambira kyamazima kubasima muno mwebale muno akasente kabaire kenja kusasula school fees tamwe kujja bakasasuire akandi nja kasasulira mu bagenzi baye abatabandi mwebale muno.
Together we're unstoppable.
Honorable Jacqueline Chatuhaire, chairperson of the Association of Parliamentary Alumni of Uganda, invites distinguished members and parliamentary alumni to the 3rd annual general meeting of the association. The meeting will take place on Friday, the 31st of May, 2024 at the Parliamentary Conference Hall, Parliamentary Building, starting promptly at 8 a.m. The AGM will elect new leadership in accordance with Article 6 and Article 8, Clause 1 of the Constitution of the Parliamentary Alumni of Uganda. The Right Honorable Anita Mong, Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, will be the chief guest. Other notable guests will include the Right Honorable Kano Retired Nuwe Amanya Mushega, Secretary General Emeritus of the East African Community, and the Right Honorable Dan Fred Kidega, Speaker Emeritus of the East African Community. Come one, come all, for a grand reunion where the alumni will gracefully flourish together.
We've hit refresh with Castle Lights. A premium new look. With the shiny silver label and an innovative cold indicator. A premium green net label for a crisp and easy drinking beer. Fresh new look. Experience the fresh Newcastle Light.
Welcome back. It's time for sports. Uganda Broadcasting Corporation TV has hosted its sports program, The Score, at Ham's Nachivable War Memorial Stadium. We also used this very opportunity to tour the facility that was opened by His Excellency, the President of Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni, last month. And while we are waiting for the preparation of a grand opening.
After almost 7 years of reconstruction, Ham's Nachivable War Memorial Stadium is due for the grand opening. This 20,000-seater facility is a multi-sport stadium that will also accommodate basketball, volleyball and netball.
One thing I'm sure of, he cannot recover the money he has put here. Even if it takes the 49 years, this is a lot of money. But I think it is another way of paying back to the people of Uganda. Especially for us who are in the sports fraternity and the football in particular.
This stadium by Ugandan standards is a first ever and uniquely set with key components like the VIP, executive box and executive seating that meet the definition.
This is a very admirable place, a very perfect playing surface, beautiful designs. These are not commonly found everywhere. When you look at the executive boxes, 35 in number, with comfortable seats, television sets inside. There are parkers in case somebody wants to come and boil tea here. There will be also an area within the executive box for stretching. Toilets are there. If you want to refresh yourself, you are able to do it from there. If you want your children, you come as a family. You are able to sit in an executive box, watch the game here as the kids are also watching something else on screen. It's really something very, very beautiful. It's a very good work done.
The stadium, which is the oldest in Uganda, is well housed with boxing facilities and a state-of-the-art gym that many will envy.
It's the best gym ever. We have all the equipment, the place is very clean, classy, yeah.
It's due for official opening to the public with a 1st June 2024 the demarcated date at which sport and music will spice the event.
I'll have a number of activities. Actually, it's a music and sports buffet for the people of Uganda. We shall open up the doors, the gates as early as 9. Then we shall have netball, some 4 teams here. Those are 2 matches. Then we shall have basketball, some 4 teams, which are also 2 matches. We shall have some music interlude.
The grand opening will feature 2 football games as Kitara plays URA, and the grandest of Uganda's football games, Express FC versus Sports Club Vida.
The purpose why we are opening up the public and doing the test matches is to try and perfect some areas, and I'm here to represent the executive as a liaison person between the FUFA Executive Committee and the Ham Enterprises or the Ham Stadium, so that we can see the weak areas and improve on them. And since I arrived here, I want to commend Mr. Chugun that he has listened to us, and there are many things we have changed for the better.
Ham's Nachivable War Memorial Stadium is earmarked for the upcoming CHAN and AFCON 2027, with many anticipating a great host stadium as Africa converges for football on Ugandan soil.
Now, what appears to be a dream will be a reality this weekend as Kitara FC play NEC Football Club in the Stanbic Uganda Final Cup. With barely none predicting such a final, the 2 teams have upped their game since the start of 2024 football season, putting up a good show in just the concluded Uganda Premier League. Now, it is difficult to predict who will come out victorious at the end of the day, but both NEC FC and Kitara FC have expressed readiness for the game to be hosted at Mutesa 1 Memorial. The winner of Stanbic Uganda Cup will get a cash prize of 50 million Ugandan shillings, while the runners-up will pocket 25 million shillings.
This is a very good work done.
Well, thank you very much for being a part of us. We will catch up together at 10 o'clock once more. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, but as we sign out, we want to leave you with a detailed report on how the president encouraged the people of Zimbabwe, Gomba and Kisuzi to embrace zero grazing to increase milk yields and enhance their incomes. We do have more with Ivan Kahwa.
Cabinet has paid a courtesy visit to the farmers in Zimbabwe district to assess the progress of the model farms introduced by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni aimed at enhancing people's livelihoods.
Naye biri 11 wajiwa omusomo ogwa paadi Museveni yatugabira ebintu ebyo okulima kasooli n'emmwanyi effe tugandi twagala kirime kya mmwanyi era makituwa mbungi.
From the onset, families were involved in maize production, which proved to be unsuccessful. But later, they embarked on coffee production, which has by far uplifted many of the families in Zimbabwe district.
Tulina yike eziwera abiri nga tuzigula mu mmwanyi za President Museveni zeyatuwa tukungula twatuma tukwekulaakulanya tulyoke tulabe ebirala. Were teeka abaana mu masomero kati situkyabikola tufungula bulungi ne tutuzayo abaana mu masomero. The
Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Major Jessica Alupo, headed a team of cabinet and state ministers, including the heads of the legislative and the judicial arm of government, to get first-hand information on how the model farms have impacted people's livelihoods.
Ministers, this farmer has 4.5 acres of coffee. And from those 4.5 acres of coffee, he gets 36 million annually. And he has 300, they call them stools of bananas. Scientifically, they are stools of bananas. And from those bananas, he gets 24 million annually.
Other dignitaries include the Central Executive Committee members of the ruling party and other top officials in the National Resistance Movement. The officials also engaged with and appreciated testimonies from the best model farmers in dairy, agriculture and the 4-acre model in Zimbabwe, Gomba and Kisuzi.
Ente magana ana waziteza mu mitwaro 5 buri mezi 5 nubona ukora amagoba ga miliyoni 200. Omwaka notunga miliyoni 800 oyireho expenses oyireho sente zo mbazi na byona
30 za kartuti. Ntukusima president okatretera project ya Sembegu ya estate
ni kwebaza okora project z'abanyayuganda zono kaziha mtoka itera kibuno kakoreya bihingi okakoreya abashubuzo okakoreya bariso okakoreya buri muntu otarihe oketorora buri mu wena
na yebare is saying that Uganda yatunga is of the impression that everybody in Uganda is rich because for him is now rich.
According to the president, in the early 90s, when he bought land in Kisuzi, he found that people were suffering in poverty, which prompted him to embark on programs for livelihood enhancement.
They had no problem with poverty. They were just there. So I started talking with them. Then I brought my groups here, Mrs. Kakwenzile, Lydia Baremezi. They came here, and we now, because the people around here, some of them are cultivators, I gave them the 4 acres model, which is what we put in the manifesto of 1996.
Farmers also relayed challenges, including cattle diseases, that affect their operations and businesses, though some reported having received vaccines for their cattle.
bajema magana gitu tukore sente farming erme sente yebare wekitinisa nitu tubasa tukatunga sente ahabwawe
twine na katare kamate amatento gakamano bagagura shilingi 5 ahadayare omukana bagatuhira shilingi 4 nabo cyo twine ntase.
The president encouraged people to migrate from free range to zero grazing to increase milk yields.
Hatoro ejohuru inaza kubatamu okubagira ntumwere ebyokusetuka ente nishisho bunyatsi muhingiro bunyatsi muitemere zirire hamwe nijakama munongo kukira hata kwirukama. That's the message, that you go from free range to zero grazing.
He also advised homesteads to share wealth in the form of shares rather than dividing it. Ivan Kahwa and Dan Lugemwa, UBC News.